Okay, so my hair's gotten messy, huh? So you can listen to Hank. You can look up circulatory and respiratory systems, or you can look at cardiovascular system or circulatory system. And when you find the videos, and Hank's got a pretty good one, I think, and also Mr. Anderson from Bozeman Video down here, right here, circulatory system, has a good one. And what you're going to find out is that for the most part, these guys are talking about the cardiovascular system. We are using these terms um, synonymously, and it's not accurate, but it's by convention, and people tend to do this. So what we want to think about is, again, the cardiovascular system as the heart, cardiovascular, the vessels associated with it, and that's it. The circulatory system includes the fluids and other organs in other systems, as I mentioned earlier. But I do recommend that you watch Hank, this video by Hank, and it's really a Khan Academy video. And then the one by Mr. Anderson, so that you get a little bit better idea of some background on circulatory system and the cardiovascular system. They're both very good videos, okay? And then I think you would want to watch, I will add to this a little bit of video relative to how you can use the circulatory system to make yourself healthier, for one thing, and how the circulatory system um, cycles the blood um, and all the other fluids that get dumped back into the blood after plasma leaks out to go through all of the filters like the spleen, the liver, the urinary tract, the kidney in other words, and filter all the fluid in the blood and the blood. And I say that because you have about 7 pints of blood in your body. You could have a low hematocrit, as I mentioned earlier, because you gave blood, and so you're low on red blood cells. But you have 3.5 gallons of interstitial fluid in your body, several times the number of pints of blood. All of that fluid has to circulate, all of it. And when it does, your lungs are able to eliminate most of the carbon dioxide that comes from metabolic processes, that is a toxic waste. And your red blood cells, using the hemoglobin molecule, as long as you have enough iron in your diet, are able to pick up enough oxygen to fuel what the cells do to keep you warm and to do everything else that you need to have done. And I hope that one of my little videos that's coming here will demonstrate to you how carbon dioxide is actually in solution under pressure in the same as as carbonic acid, in the same way that it's in a Coca-Cola or any soda pop, so that when the fluids, the red blood cells and the plasma get to your lungs, that carbonic acid can pop out as air bubbles and leave you. And that's one of the ways we get rid of that. And so if you'll watch that, we'll get on with it, and hopefully you'll be able to make that distinction between the circulatory system, all of the fluids that circulate, and the cardiovascular system, the main pump that pumps blood. But remember that also muscles, fluid dynamics, and other things are involved in pumping the blood. Otherwise, your heart will get overtired and wear out at a younger age, and you will not live as long. So exercise for your health. You will feel better, you will look better, and you will perform everything that you do better. So we were talking about the cardiovascular system with respect to carrying oxygen to be perfused through the tissues and taking carbon dioxide waste away from the tissues. This bottle contains kombucha, homemade, non-alcoholic, very low sugar. Your sugar's used up pretty much. A type of pop. It's called Chinese tea also. It's carbonated, and I can control the carbonation with the amount of sugar I use or that's left. But if you notice the bubbles, okay, so when I open this, I'm doing this over my sink. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I didn't have too much in there because I've done it before where it blows up out the top. But you can see the bubbles. You can see the bubbles. And this is basically sort of a demonstration of how CO2 is carried away from your tissues. And when it finally is carried, and it's carried in the plasma, so the color of this kombucha is appropriate. This kombucha was made with tea and a little grape juice and a little pomegranate tea flavoring. So, when this CO2, which is in the form of carbonic acid, gets to an area of low pressure, it comes out of solution, forms the bubbles that are the gas, and leaves your lungs when you breathe out. Many people think that red blood cells carry the CO2, but the red blood cells carry only the oxygen. So CO2 is carried in the plasma portion of your blood, and you learned about the different parts of your blood last week. And it's one of the ways you get rid of metabolic waste. You breathe it out. Sometimes you get rid of some of it through your skin. You know, some volatile organic compounds, for example, the odor of an onion or garlic, can come through your lungs to be removed from your body. Also can come out the pores of your skin. So your skin is actually an excretory organ, and your lungs are actually an excretory organ. And of course, your kidneys are excretory organs. They filter the plasma to make urine. Your intestines are not excretory. They are not removers of metabolic waste. They only remove undigested food that never was a part of you in the first place. Okay, let's go on with some more topics. Talk a little bit more about circulation. See what I'm doing? I bought this little machine. I'm in a bad chair for this, but I bought this little machine at Walmart, and I use it to help my circulation. My doctor thinks that since I'm a type 2 diabetic, that I would benefit greatly, and he says that new research has shown that diabetics benefit greatly from any kind of exercise. Now, this exercise isn't great. It's not really cardio. It's not making my heart pump. But what it's doing is it is assisting my heart by helping all of my body fluids circulate better, especially those in the lower part of my body. You know, when I first retired, I was bored, and so I walked 20 miles a day for 8 months, every day. I tried to make 40 miles a couple of times, and I made 35. Ran out of daylight's what happened. I could have made 40, no problem. And I think I could easily make 50. Not today. I need to get back in shape to do that. But what happened was my hemoglobin A1C, which is a measure of long-term average blood sugar, that is a very important measurement that you'll learn about later. But diabetics get that test. And mine went down to normal after a few months of walking 20 miles a day every day, which only took 6 hours anyway. I walked 5 miles. Let's see, an hour and a half I'd walk 5 miles. So 10 miles in 3 hours, and 20 miles in 6 hours. So I'd usually do that before noon. Anyway, that's why I thought I could do 40, and I tried it, but
I needed longer days. Anyway, I ran out of daylight, so I didn't want to be walking out there in the dark. Okay, so this is real important, and this is really helping my circulatory system by taking pressure off my heart and by moving my fluids through all of the filters in my body more quickly. My spleen, my lymph nodes, so forth, my renal system, my kidney, and so forth. So I'm getting my interstitial fluids and other plasma-derived fluids back to the bloodstream where they can be cleaned and processed and the toxic wastes can be removed. And that's what exercise can help you do. Without exercise and with a buildup of toxic waste, such as might happen if you are sleep deprived, early brain damage and early Alzheimer's can occur. And there's quite a bit of research on this now. So, anything that you can do, I bought this little machine at Walmart for $25, by the way. Anything you can do to improve your circulation and get a little more exercise to help with that aspect of your physiology will significantly improve your health if you do a lifestyle change and keep it up. Just keep it up. What's so hard about this? Or ride a bike to work. Walk to work. Use any kind of strategy that you can to get more physical exercise in your life. And this will help your cardiovascular system, and it will help all other systems of your body by helping to circulate fluids that need to be run through filters all the time to eliminate toxic wastes from metabolism. Okay, have fun.